Okay, so we've got our grounding and uplifting practice we're gonna get into now. So let's go ahead and close our eyes. Taking a nice big grounding breath in. We might imagine we're in a sort of murky, boggy, watery place, this mixture of mud and water all around us, and just kind of oozing ourselves down into that mud with our breath. Feeling that mix of the earth and the water. And how, in a place like that, it might be a little easier to send our roots down into the earth. We might think of a lily or a lotus or some other water based plant going down into that nutrient dense soil. Maybe ourselves becoming a little puddly, a little muddy, just like that. And just embracing that experience with all of its murk and mystery, all of the blending of the this and that, so much present with us in our moment, maybe more than we can fully comprehend or see or process. And so just coming right into our center when we've got all of this feedback and all of this information and all of this stuff going on all around us in the greater world and in our personal greater worlds, just coming in as close to center as we can, taking our awareness and attention as close into center as we can, as much into this exact present moment as we can. We can use our bodies to help us do that, taking our attention into our physical bodies, breathing through the whole of our body, breathing in, filling the whole of our body, letting go, softening the whole of our body. Another one of those. Maybe we come deeper into our center, watching our lungs. Let's go ahead and form a lotus mudra with our hands. To do that, you'll place the center of the palms in together like this, and the thumbs come together, the pinkies come together, and then those middle three fingers splay outward, forming the lotus symbol. And we can place that right here in our heart or in front of the heart center, and we can breathe in this space. And so as we sent down our rooty tendrils, grounding us in the midst of all the everything that's here, we can feel ourselves rising up through that, losing some of the density of that lower level, coming up into the freedom of the higher levels of the water, and then finally up to the surface, feeling the sun drying any beads of water off of our flowery crowns. Opening ourselves up to a new sphere, a new day, a new moment. And as you sit here, you might Feel yourself expanding both in both directions of vertically, up and down. So rooting down through our sit bones. Maybe with that exhale, really rooting down, and with our inhale, expanding through the chest, the shoulders, the crown of the head, rising up a few inches taller. And sinking down with our roots. Then we'll open our practice today with 3 ohms. You might keep your hands here in our Lotus mudra, or you might just gently bring the fingertips all together in a prayer position here. Or maybe you have your own shape that your hands wish to make at this moment. So finding that, finding your center, finding any pearls and intention you may wish to set for this practice, any little seeds you want to plant. We'll take a breath in all together. Exhale, let it go. Inhaling for our first om. Gently releasing the hands and opening the eyes. Allow yourself a few moments to just gaze at the ground in front of you, grounding through our gaze. And let's go ahead and inhale our arms and gaze up skyward. And then exhale, bringing both hands down to the right, down to the earth over here, giving a little twist over. Inhaling back through center, arms and gaze skyward. And exhaling, twisting to the left. Inhaling through center, arms skyward. And exhaling, twisting right. Inhaling through center, arms skyward, gaze skyward, where we wish to go, rising up. And exhale to the left, gazing down to the ground, grounding down. One more, arms and gaze skyward, feeling our inspiration rising up, maybe a little heat. And exhaling to the right, grounding down, rooting down, feeling our strength, our earth energy rising up. Inhaling back through center, gaze skyward. Filling up, getting our inspiration, our energy, and exhaling left. Inhaling through center, arms skyward. And then we're going to exhale and just open our arms out to the side as if we're making a giant bowl with the arms. And just allow yourself to settle into this shape, feeling the shoulders drop down, keeping hands lifted upwards. And you might just make all sorts of micro adjustments here. Maybe you rotate the shoulders, maybe you explore the elbows bending and opening. Maybe how wide the arms open, feeling those shoulder blades drawing back together. And then the closing up if you draw the hands a little more forward. So just exploring this shape a little bit. And then slowly we're going to inhale, drawing the hands back together, our gaze skyward, as if we're closing our flower petals at night when the sun goes. So many flowers do this. And exhale, opening the arms again, drawing the gaze out in front of us. As if the sun has dawned and we're ready to collect all of that energy for the day. Again, you might explore, maybe you found a particularly yummy place the last time that you want to go right back to. And with your next inhale, we're going to draw to a close again, arms going skyward, hands coming together, gaze skyward. Closing up at 9. And inhale or exhale, open. And maybe you find a new shape. Maybe the backgrounds and the hands come out in front of you and you make a little cup or bowl with your body in a new way. What are you gathering? What are you collecting? What are you holding? Breathe in here. One more inhale. We're going to bring the arms back up overhead. Exhaling, opening to our bowl. And inhale here. And exhale, we're going to bring the hands down to the earth. Touching down, grounding down, taking our gaze down to the earth again, grounding. Let's roll out the shoulders a little bit here. You might bring fingertips to a point here, gathering with the thumb, and place those there at each same shoulder as you do your rolls. And then you can let that go. Let's shake out the arms, wrists, fingers, shoulders. Maybe the spine has a little wiggle for you here too. Then we're going to come over onto our hands and knees here. Taking our time to get here, setting ourselves up with our wrists under shoulders, knees under hips. We'll begin with some cat-cows. So we'll inhale, dropping the belly. And we'll exhale, rounding the spine, taking our gaze back in towards the belly. Inhaling, dropping the belly, looking forward. Exhaling, rounding the spines. Inhaling. Exhaling. Inhaling. Exhaling. A few free flows between these motions, whatever variations your body might inspire you with. And we'll come back to center here all together. We'll shift our weight over into the left hand, letting the right hand grow light. And inhale, go ahead and lift that right arm up towards the sky, gazing skyward. And then we're going to exhale, bringing that arm down, threading it under the opposite arm, bringing shoulder all the way down to the earth. The head, the ear can all rest down on the earth as well. And then that left hand might stay right where it is in front of the face, or maybe you want to extend that arm long out farther overhead. Your option. And as you're here, you might soften into this shape. See if there are muscles you can relax or let go of. Or you might find yourself wanting to be a little more active, maybe pressing more into that left hand and going a little deeper into your twist. Or maybe some combination of the two. No right or wrong, better or worse, just different ways we can explore. And then that left arm, if you've extended it, go ahead and draw the hand back in so it's in front of the face. Press the hand into the earth, noticing what our body prepares to do with that feedback. We'll take a full inhale here. And then with our exhale, opening back up, that right hand coming back up towards the sky. And then a full breath here. Or full inhale and exhale, we'll bring that hand back down to the earth. Back to our all fours position. Taking a cat-cow, if you please, between our sides. Finding ourselves back in our neutral position. Being active with our arms, a little bend in our elbows, feeling our strength, drawing the navel up, breathing here. And then we'll shift our weight over into the right hand, feeling a little more active there. The left hand grows light, and inhale the left hand up high towards the sky. Belly full, and then exhale, thread that arm underneath the body, underneath the right arm, bringing that shoulder to rest on the earth, the ear, the head to come and rest down. And then settling into your shape here, settling into this side. Again, that option of the right hand to stay just where it is, or maybe you want to slide it forward, farther, up beyond the head. Maybe you want to soften through the back and the shoulders, through the hips, through each arm, hand, fingers. Maybe you want to explore your range in this twist. How can we be gentle in this shape? Even take our attention into the hips and pelvis, and where we've got a bit of a dip going there. And you might play with accentuating that with your spine as if you're doing those pelvic tucks and tilts that we play with sometimes. And then if that right hand is extended long, go ahead and draw it back in front of the face once more so the elbow is bent and we're primed for our next moves. We'll go ahead and put more pressure into that right hand, feeling the body prepare. Inhale, fold. And then exhale, press the hand down and lift the other up, back skyward. Inhale, fold. And exhale, we'll bring the top hand back down, coming back into all fours, and then taking a cat-cow. Or maybe two. Coming back into our neutral position. Let's go ahead and inhale the left hand high. And exhale, just bring that hand right back down to the mat, back to all fours. Inhale the right hand high. And exhale, bring that hand back down to the earth. Inhale, right hand high, or left hand high. Exhale down. Inhale, left hand high, right hand high. And exhale down. Let's go ahead and bump each knee back a couple inches, tuck our toes, bend our elbows. Inhale, fold. And exhale, send the hips up and back for our downward dog. Go ahead and pedal it out as you arrive, bending one knee as you straighten the other leg. And going back and forth between sides. At some point, you may wish to explore just the experience of trying to send both heels down to the mat at the same time. just to see how that feels in this moment. And as you do, and maybe you're at the full extent of that, or an inch or so higher than whatever the full extent of that might be, go ahead and send the hips back further. See if you've got another inch or so that the hips can go back behind you. And then releasing that, coming back to our pedaling of one leg at a time. We bite down to the earth, or one heel at a time. And then we'll shift our weight forward so the shoulders are over the elbows. You might adjust the legs or the hands to make this a comfortable position, seeing where we are. Slight bend here in the elbows, drawing the belly button up towards the spine. Really active through our arms, active in our breath, active in our belief of our ferocious power here, the fire that's building in our bodies. And then we'll go ahead and release the knees to the floor and untuck our toes. Breathe here. Inhale, fold. And then exhale, we'll lower the chest down to the earth. Continue breathing. Go ahead and send the hands out long in front of the body, feeling the fullness of the connection of your body with the earth, from fingertips down through the arms, the chest, hips, all the way down the legs into the toes. And see if you can stretch yourself a little longer in both directions. And then we're going to draw the arms back in towards the body. And as we do, go ahead and lift the chest. We're going to come to rest on our forearms here. And you can explore keeping those hands farther out in front of you and being active with that pressure of the forearms and elbows against the earth and how that lifts up the chest. And then maybe you explore bringing those in another inch or so. And what's that level like? And maybe you just explore half inch by half inch as you move the arms a little closer and feel that bend move through the spine, that curve, adjust, going however far in you want to go. And as you play with each increment, you can just stay there passively, or you can be a little active even without continuing to adjust the distance that your arms are from the rest of the body. You can just actively draw them against the earth in towards the body and feel how that changes your experience of this stretch through the back, the spine. Maybe at some point you want to take those hands back farther out in front of you and release a bit of that curve. That's fine too. Let's take one more breath wherever we're at with this. Inhaling full. And exhaling, we're going to bring our chest all the way back down and send the arms out long in front of us again. Then with our next inhale, we're going to bring the hands back behind the back. Lift the chest a little. Shoulder blades draw together. One more full breath here. And then we'll bring the hands underneath the shoulders to rest on the earth, lowering the chest down, releasing all the work in this pose. Go ahead and tuck the toes, put pressure in the hands, inhale full. And exhale, hips up and back to that downward dog position we were working with. Go ahead and pedal it out again. And then let's go ahead and walk our dog forward slowly and surely, just little increments at a time, shortening the dog. And maybe with each little micro step that you take forward, go ahead and send those hips back again. So you might take a little bit forward and then sending the hips back. And gentle with yourself, just seeing what we discover along this little journey here. And then walk it backwards to your more extended dog, to what we started with. And then one more, we're gonna walk forwards, feet towards the hands until we're at our max, and then shift the weight over onto the feet, releasing the hands and coming into a fold. Whenever you're ready to make that transition, we'll take a nice comfortable bend through the knees, get a sway through the upper body, side to side, letting ourselves be loose, especially the shoulders, which we've been doing a lot with here, letting those go. See if you can let the head and neck go. Maybe a little gentle shake side to side. Go ahead and dip the booty real low, nice deep bend in the knees, and we're gonna inhale, rise, bringing our arms up overhead, our gaze skyward. Greeting the sun, the sky, moon, stars. And exhale, hands down through heart center, our gaze out in front of us. And let's take a few grounding full breaths here, just finding our mountain pose. Bringing our attention down to our feet, to the heels, to the toes, the balls of the feet. You can imagine 4 corners in your feet, taking your attention through each of those 4 corners or edges of the feet. And then bring our attention back up to our heart and chest. Let's go ahead and draw the shoulder blades back together, opening, broadening our chest, feeling our strength here. Take a little bend in the knees and feel your spring, your strength as you get that bend, your stability. And then let's inhale, arms rise, gaze rise, legs straighten. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift, gaze out in front. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise, arms up. And exhale, hands down through heart center. Full breath here, feeling our feet, feeling their connection with the earth. Inhale, arms up, gaze skyward. And exhale, we'll release the hands back behind the back, broadening the chest. You might feel yourself tipping a little forward. Go ahead and keep breathing here. Then we could stay on our exhale. And you might play with that balance. How far forward can I lean myself before I start to lose myself on my tippy toes? You might be reminded of playing with the wind, leaning into those really strong gusts, or perhaps witnessing children playing with the wind, and imagine if you could feel yourself receiving that support of the wind, holding you up. And then settling back onto the heels, inhale, arms up. And exhale, swan diving forward. Let's bring the arms back behind the back as we hang out in this fold. See if you can press yourself actively through the feet and grow a little bit through the legs. Maybe the hips lift a little bit. Do keep a slight bend in the knees, whatever is comfortable for you here. Full breath in. Exhale, release the arms back down to the earth. Deep bend in the knees. And inhale, arms skyward, gaze skyward. Exhale, hands down through heart center. Inhaling, grounding through our feet. And exhale, we'll release the hands. Taking our attention back to our feet, let's go ahead and shift our attention over into the right foot. Shifting our weight over into the right foot, letting the left foot grow a little light. We might start out with just that right foot on the toes here, play with the balance there. Maybe you move the heel over to the standing leg and place it over the ankle. You might explore bringing that foot up the calf. Maybe we give it a helping hand and bring that foot up the thigh, exploring our tree pose and our balance here through our stable standing leg. Hands wherever we like. They might just be out at the sides. They might be in prayer position at heart center. Maybe they're up overhead. Grounding through your gaze, steady gaze, as if you're tying a line between your eyes and whatever you are gazing at. And that gaze is helping you hold this center. Grounding through that standing foot. Grounding through the whole inner center line from crown through the foot. Let's do one more breath on this side. And our next exhale will come gently down and shake it out. Inhale, arms together overhead. Exhale, fold deep. Hips back, arms forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Deep bend in the knees. Inhale, arms rise. Exhale, hands down through heart center. We'll shift the weight over into the left foot. Grounding through that foot as we get light in the right foot. Maybe coming up onto the toes of that foot. Maybe that ankle comes, or the heel comes over the ankle of the standing leg. Maybe we bring that foot up the calf. Maybe it comes up to the thigh. So just finding wherever you want to play with here. And this now, we've got tons of nows. We're just going to worry about this one. We're not going to worry about it. We're just going to be in it. So play with this moment. Again, hands wherever you want them. Maybe it's the same shape you made last time. Maybe you want to try something new, something different. Keep your soft, steady gaze. If you can imagine how if a flower had eyes and we're looking at you as the flower gazes with that steadiness, there's no blinking, it's just this steady, soft gaze and openness. Can we have that same sort of steady stare, calm, knowing, coming back to our fixed point as our body might move, as our gaze might move, as our mind might move. We can just come right back to that fixed point, to that steady center, to our aligned selves, finding your aligned self again and again and again. That steady, compassionate, loving gaze. One more full breath on this side. And our next exhale brings us gently down with both feet and shaking it out. As wild and crazy as you want to be, as loosey and goosey. Let's go ahead and do a few of these where we shift our weight. We'll go ahead and shift onto the right foot since that's the one we weren't just standing on. And go ahead and lift up the opposite hip. And then we're going to swing that leg forward and back just as freely as we can, offering as much movement there through the hip as we can. Arms might find nearby supportive surfaces to help us with this. Or we might explore the balance, the balancing act of knot. Might have a hand on that moving hip just to feel what's going on there. Getting your attention as deep into this space as we can. And we'll let that go. Find our center with both feet flat on the ground. Notice what we notice between our sides. Maybe let the world come back to steady. And then we'll shift sides. So we'll shift weight over into the left foot. Let the left grow light and begin swinging that leg forward and back. Again, we might find our nearby wall or couch or chair. Friend, if you have one with you, to hold on to and give a little swing through the hip. Again, you might bring a hand to that moving hip and just feel what you feel. Offering some gentleness, some compassion and love, gratitude, awe to this beautiful part of our bodies. And letting that go. Finding our center again between both sides, noticing what we notice. Does our whole body feel alive? Inhale, arms up overhead, gaze skyward. And exhale, fold. Hips back, arms out in front. And keep that motion going. Slight bend in the knees. Keep sending the hips back and bringing the arms farther and farther out in front of you. How long can we grow through the legs? And then exhale, release, softening it all. Ragdoll. Inhale, arms up, gaze skyward. And exhale, hands down through heart center. Releasing the hands. We're gonna come play with our eagle. We'll go ahead and start with our arms this time. So let's bring both arms out in front of us long like this, long and straight. And then go ahead and bend the left hand, taking that hand up to the sky. The right hand we're going to cross underneath the left, swinging all the way over, and then bringing that hand up to the sky as well. And then inviting the hands to come towards one another. And maybe the hands are going to meet, maybe they're going to just come closer. So we'll see what we get, getting a little crisscross here with our arms. And just feeling this phase one of our pose through the shoulders, through the arms. And then we're going to bend our knees a little bit, take our attention back to our feet here, and then go ahead and take the left foot and cross it over the right. So that whole left leg is going to cross over the right, and that left foot will come up just beyond the toes of that foot. And if we want, we can stay here just with that first cross, or you might, after making that cross, bring the toes in as close as you can in towards the standing leg. Maybe the toes can wrap around the calf of that standing leg. Maybe they just come in a little closer. So just see where we go. Find ourselves here. And we'll settle in for a breath. And then we're going to inhale, elbows up to shoulder height. And exhale, sink the hips. And then keep breathing here. Expanding that space between the shoulder blades and the back. Feeling points of fire, maybe lighting up through the legs and the belly or the arms. Again, we might find a nice place, a nice fixed point to take our steady gaze. This is our eagle pose, so maybe inviting the spirit of eagle into ourselves and our moment, that ability to soar high, to have that greater perspective. Maybe if there's a lot going on in the ground and world around us, just taking a break from the immersion of all that to be above and removed from it all for a moment and just be with yourself in the spaciousness of this now, like eagle flying high in the sky. One more full breath here in all the spaciousness of this now. With our next inhale, we're going to rise back up out of our little squat here. Exhale, unwind the arms. And then we'll uncross the legs. One more shaking out. Maybe we're slow and gentle. Maybe we're a little more rapid. However you're feeling for this unwind. And eventually taking yourself back into center with both feet on the ground and just feeling what the body feels in this moment, in this now. Inhale, arms rise up, gaze skyward. And exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Down here with the dirt, with the mud. You might imagine we're scooping up through the mud, getting whatever treasures we can get, and inhale, rise. Offering those treasures up to the sky. And then exhale, let it all go. Arms down to the sides. Recentering and preparing for eagle on the opposite side. And we can bring arms out in front of us, parallel. We'll go ahead and take the right arm, bending that elbow, sending fingertips towards the sky. Left arm crosses the body, goes underneath that lifted arm. And then we're going to bend the elbow and invite that hand up towards the sky. And however far up that arm goes is how far up it goes. Then we can invite the hands in towards one another. Maybe they meet and can provide pressure towards one another and a little bit of resistance. Or maybe they're just closer. Wherever they go is where they are. Feeling this portion of our stretch of the pose. Preparing our human eagle bodies for our flight. And go ahead and shift the weight over into the right leg, bending that knee a little bit. Left foot grows light, maybe we just start out on the toes there. And then we're going to come across that left leg in front of the right. Again, we might just be on toes here. And then inviting that foot a little closer in towards our standing leg, just wherever it's going to go. We can keep toes there on the ground. Maybe we want to see if we can cross those toes around the back of the calf. Wherever we go, and finding ourselves here. And then we're going to inhale, elbows up to shoulders. And exhale, sink the hips. Find your steady point. A sharp, discerning gaze like eagle. Inviting you to lift your imagination up high into the sky. Imagining you're soaring above fields or trees, pasture or sea, mountains. How high up into the clouds might you go? with your imagination and your mind. Feeling the simple spaciousness of air around you. Feeling the support of the wind beneath your wings, that you can simply glide and be. Finding ease in this moment. Another full breath in. Easy breath out. Inhale. Exhale and wind the arms, fly them out wide to the side. And inhale, rise up. Exhale and wind the feet. Release the arms. Coming back to your center, taking whatever inspired movements your body has for you, or exploring your stillness. Let's inhale, arms up overhead, gaze skyward. And exhale, hands just down through heart center. Feeling the ground beneath the feet, inhale, fold. Exhale, fold. Inhale, arms out to either side as if they're wings growing. Exhale, float them out to the side. Hovering here. And another full breath in, floating our wings. And exhale, hovering here. Inhale, arms up overhead. Exhale, hands down towards either side. Let's go ahead and find a supportive surface. That might be a wall or the back of a chair or couch. We're going to bring our hands down to either the top of that chair or couch or onto that wall and walk the feet out away until we can bring our arms out relatively parallel with the earth. Feel a nice deep stretch through the legs and see if you can release the upper body to hang between the arms. Keep a little bend in our knees. See if you can be soft with yourself through this shape. Allowing yourself to release into it. One more full breath here. And then we're going to inhale. Lift the gaze, press hands onto that surface to lift the chest. Maybe take a step in a little closer to our surface. Full breath here. With our next inhale, we're going to lift the right leg up and back behind us. Keep breathing here. And you can play with your distance from your supportive surface. Maybe you find you're a little close or a little far. You want to explore how distance might change this shape for you. You might explore the seesaw sort of motion of as that back leg lifts, the upper body dips. And so just playing with our lightness, with our flight here. You might explore just having one hand on your supportive surface and what play opens up for you there. Maybe you want to lift one hand up and back towards that leg or up towards the sky. Giving yourself room for some free play. And we'll do one more breath with whatever we're doing. Then with our next exhale, we'll come down with hand and leg. Go ahead and walk in towards that surface. Let go. Standing, shake it out. However your body invites you to shake it out. And then let's take it on our other side. So bringing hands back to our surface, walking backwards however far feels good, shifting our weight over into the right leg, a little bend in that knee, and letting the left leg grow light up and back. And again, just giving ourselves time to ground into this shape, into what it's offering us, into what it's showing us, what our body is showing us. Exploring our seesaw as we lift that leg, seeing its connection with the upper body. You can even bend that knee, sending that foot kind of back and around towards the buttocks. And maybe you want to play with taking one hand off, watching that shift in balance, seeing what new shapes we might make over here, a hand up towards the sky. Maybe it reaches back and grabs that lifted leg. If we do something like that, we can press hand into foot, foot into hand, or just reach them towards one another. We might come in and out of our shapes. Hands and feet might fall to the earth. We might explore dropping that hand down to the earth while we lift the leg and see what changes for us there. So being free in your play to move as your body inspires you, to move as the shapes evolve and inspire you. And let's do one more breath. And then bringing both hands back to our surface, releasing the lifted leg, walking in close, and releasing that stretch however our bodies invite us to. Rolling out shoulders and spine, arms and legs. And we'll touch back into those again briefly in case you found yourself doing something on the second side. You want to try again on the first. We'll bring our hands back to our surface. Go ahead and walk the feet away and lifting up that first leg and exploring how our bodies invite us to. On this side, I'm now taking my opposite arm from that lifted leg and I'm exploring what happens when I lower that down towards the earth, kind of playing with that shape. You might imagine the freedom of play and imagination that children often have. And if you were to imagine yourself as a child, or even yourself as a child in this moment, with this invitation, how might you play? What sort of silly things could you do here? Whenever we're ready, we're gonna come back and switch sides, but you're welcome to stay here as long as you like. So hands back to that surface, walking forward, a little shake out. Grounding back through both feet. Let's inhale, both arms up overhead. Exhale, bringing the hands to our supporter, walking the feet back and lifting that second leg and getting funky and interested and exploratory with this. What all is there for us to do here? Maybe you want to imagine yourself as eagle or some other bird or a superman or woman or an airplane here. What does your silliest self have for you to play with? Tumbling down, perhaps? Maybe a smile or laughter, sensation in a new place. And one more breath on this side. And go ahead, release the legs, hands back to our surface, walking in, shaking out. You might imagine yourself as one of those blow up air things many businesses have by the roadside. Inhaling, both arms up. Exhaling, bringing the hands to the top of the head, gently washing those fingertips down the face, gentle touching down the neck, the chest, down our hips, bending the knees, bringing fingertips down the legs, bending the knees deep, bringing the hands all the way to the feet, the coming down onto our seat, rolling down onto our backs. Let's hug our knees into the chest, rocking side to side, maybe forward and back. You might do a little circling of the knees and the body. And now becoming eggs. And a whole little life circle of our birds. Then let's go ahead and plant the feet on the floor, arms down by the sides, walking the feet in a little closer towards the body, feeling all your points of connection with the ground, feet, hips, arms, back, head. Press the feet actively into the earth, lifting the hips, and with our inhale, we'll lift the hips all the way up into our bridge, the back follows, pressing shoulders down into the earth, breathing here at the top of our bridge. You might feel how the feet feel here, or the knees. If you're getting a little much pressure, maybe you want to walk the feet a little farther out, see if that lightens things in the knees, if they were feeling a little tense there. And then with your exhale, we'll go ahead and slowly roll the spine back down onto the earth, concluding with the hips down. That little pelvic tilt. And inhale, we'll roll up again, hips, low back. See if you can imagine you're watching your spine vertebrae by vertebrae rising up all the way to that mid back, coming up onto our shoulders, pressing down with the outer edges of the shoulder, maybe the elbows, the feet. Full breath here. Feeling a relaxing of the shoulder blades with the exhale. With your next exhale, go ahead and roll back down onto the earth. Tipping that tailbone, and we'll do one more roll up, hips, low back, mid back, upper back, and gentle breathing at the top of your bridge. Wherever that top may be, maybe you find your extreme and then you back off a little bit from that. You don't have to be at that full extent. Be where it feels nourishing in this moment. You might imagine a gentle stream trickling under your back, under your bridge. Feel that steadiness of your feet, the support of your bridge. Allowing it to move, to wash away under you. And feeling the stability and the stayingness of you as the world and circumstances may change. Your ability to be. Full breath in. A gentle exhale releases us back down to the earth. And go ahead and inhale, knees in towards chest. Tucking them in, little rock side to side. Coming to center, take a full inhale, draw the knees in towards chest. And then exhale, send the feet up towards the sky, straightening the legs. Just gentle here, they don't need to be super duper straight. They might still be a bend in those knees. And giving ourselves a moment to breathe with the feet up. Feeling the stableness of our back supporting us. If you've got that wall or chair or couch next to you, you can bring feet onto that surface. Release the effort onto that surface. You might imagine yourself like a waterfall cascading down from the feet, down through the legs, into the earth below. Letting that water cleanse you, move through you, wash away debris, stuck sticks, anything that we're ready to let go of. Just letting that wash on through, cleansing and renewing you. Go ahead and inhale, knees towards chest again. And then exhale, send the legs long on the floor. Coming into your Shavasana, your final resting pose. And any little movements your body suggests to you along the way, go ahead and follow those inspirations. Follow those desires. Let your muscles move you. And eventually, we'll settle into our rest. Legs long, or maybe bend your knees if that feels better. Maybe there's something supportive you can put under the knees. Rest the arms on the floor. We might rest hands on the body. That can feel soothing and grounding. Telling me where you are in space. I am here. Letting the breath calm and center. Letting the body calm and center. Letting our attention, our focus, our inner gaze calm and center. As you chose those physical, visual, steady points earlier through our practice, you might take one in your mind's eye here, doing that with our attention and our focus. You can feel a steady, sacred point in your body where you want to call your attention into. Or maybe take yourself back up to eagle heights. And you let the sky and the spaciousness or Eagle himself be your focal points, that visual image. Maybe it's the lotus or the roots. Maybe it's the sensation of the earth underneath your body from heels to back, elbows and head. So finding your fixed point for your rest and nestling in there. If you're a dog, taking those little circles before you lay down, laying yourself down into that steady gaze of this soft point for your attention, letting it be warm and cozy, loving and welcome, breathing in. The way wings should. What will our children do in the morning? Will they wake with their hearts wanting to play the way wings should? Will they have dreamed the needed flights and gathered the strength from the planets that all men and women need to balance the wonderful charms of the earth, so that her power and beauty does not make us forget our own? I know all about the ways of the heart, how it wants to be alive. Love so needs to love that it will endure almost anything, even abuse, just to flicker for a moment. But the sky's mouth is kind. Its song will never hurt you, for I sing those words. What will our children do in the morning if they do not see us fly? One last little gaze at that center point that you found, offering gratitude for its presence with you, its centering. And then releasing yourself back into the fullness of your here and now moment, the wholeness of your body, the earth below you, the sky above, inviting movement back in, ripples through your stillness, wiggling of fingers, toes, ankles, wrists, shoulders, and arms, long stretches through the body, waking up sweetly like a cat or dog from a all day long siesta. And as you're ready, rolling over onto one side. And as you're ready, coming up into a seat, whatever is your comfortable seat, grounding yourself in there, giving yourself the moment. We'll close our practice today with our closing peace song. The words are Om Shanti 3 times, which is peace in Sanskrit, Om, and peace 3 times in English. You're welcome to join in or just let the words, peace, and vibrations wash in, through, and over you. We might bring hands to heart center in that prayer position. Maybe you want to take that Lotus mudra again. Find ourselves steady, centered, present, breathful, breath releasing, inhaling full, exhaling full, inhaling for Om. Om. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om, peace, peace, peace. Thank you for playing, practicing, and being with me today. I appreciate your presence and inspiration. It was joyful. Namaste, and peace, joy, and playfulness be with you as you go forward. And today's closing poem was by Rumi, translation by Daniel Ladinsky, titled The Way Wings Should, and from the collection Love Poems from God, 12 Sacred Voices from the East and West. Thank you, Rumi.